Do people still think your name is Builder Ann?
Yeah, I get that. Builder Man.
Builder Man.
Yeah.
Builder Ann the Builder Man.
That's me.
Bill Duran, the Builder Man.
Why are you not doing a children's TV show? Some would say you are doing a children's TV show.
Some say, yeah.
This episode of The Modern Rogue brought to you by Squarespace. Head on over to squarespace.com/rogue, spell it right, R-O-G-U-E. Sign up and get 10% off. Bill Doran of Punished Props, what are we doing this time?
Oh, Brian, so good to be here. I'm so pumped. You know I'm a big fan of The Modern Rogue. I watch most of the videos.
Yeah.
I pay attention, especially when you're making stuff.
Uh-oh.
No, you guys do great. I've noticed some gaps in your tool arsenal.
I am so glad you said tool arsenal and not safety protocols.
Right. I had a $50 gift card, and I thought, I bet with that $50 we can fill Brian's gaps.
Okay, I guess we're not dealing with power tools.
No.
But these are objects that I obviously needed here at HQ, but don't have.
Right. I'll hand you a thing, and you guess what it does.
Okay.
And then I'll tell you what it really does, and then we'll show how it works.
I like the fact that you just assumed I would know. All right.
I'll start with something that I think you're gonna get, but I don't think you've ever used it for its actual intended purpose. Let's go with this little number right down here.
This is an awl.
It's very close to an awl.
It's not already out of the gates.
Very close, but what if you were to push the tip of that into this wood just as much? Just slowly push it all the way down. Keep going. Keep going.
It's a hole punch.
Yeah.
This is for leathercraft, question mark?
It's for all sorts of stuff. You could use it for leathercraft, but the main purpose is to start a drill bit in something, like a PVC pipe.
Oh, this is great. So what will this and won't this dent?
It'll dent metal. It's a hardened metal tip, so if you gotta drill a hole in some sheet metal, you get it started by poking a tiny little hole that your drill bit can bite into.
Sorry, you just saw my eyes glaze over as I'm looking for something to punch holes in.
There we go, I'm glad I got that ready. Very good.
So one of the first things that I think of is you wouldn't want to do this to your skin, but my guess is by the time you got down, you'd already be
going through
a hole, right?
Like what if you press that into a piece of tempered glass?
Oh, it would definitely shatter it.
It would shatter it instantly. Multi-purpose, of course, but we use it for starting drill bits, especially if you're trying to drill into a PVC pipe that's round. Your drill bit wants to slip off of it.
Yeah,
right?
Oh, that's right, yeah, because the way I would do it now is, first of all, I'd go buy a brand new bit, because I assume that mine is dull.
Yeah.
And then I would let it hover as it squirrels around, making circles.
Yep, that's normally how it goes. This will change that. We're gonna demo that in a second, but I have to quiz you on another item.
Okay, ready?
All right. Here is the next item.
Okay. These have recessed. Now, this doesn't look like something you bought recently.
No, I couldn't find it at the hardware store. I had to bring these from home.
Okay, so that gives me another clue. It looks like there are magnets inside, but they don't link to each other.
They don't.
Something for squaring something off, or maybe you would just attach these to a workbench
Close.
and use them for sawing. Oh, again, we're doing PVC pipes.
How would those interact with something like a PVC pipe?
If you had them, let's say, on a bench like that, then it would make it so that these don't roll, so that you can maybe saw on it or something.
You're so close.
Oh,
so
damn it.
close. I'll give you another clue. These interact with something else on this workbench.
Okay.
Something that you already had.
It's got to be the vise.
There you
It's
go.
got to be the vise. Okay, so this guy, thank goodness we finally got the vise properly positioned.
So how would those magnets interact with the jaws of that vise?
Of course. Okay, so.
This is like one of your puzzle boxes.
Yeah. Okay, so something like this.
Wow, man, you're so close.
Something like
There it
this.
is.
Okay, all right.
They're
Okay.
perfect. Now,
Is there a proper name for this?
plastic vice jaws. If you're gonna look them up, look for like V-groove, V-groove. So now it can hold it there. You could rotate this to exactly where you want it, tighten it down, and it's not gonna go anywhere, it's not gonna twist.
Oh, wait, I'm beginning to sense the theme of everything we're doing, and now we can punch the drill bit in there to get started. Okay, so I'm gonna assume, oh, it does. There's a nice little groove in there.
Yeah, okay.
We've got this mounted, we've got a hole. I assume we're gonna drill this, but I assume, are there more tools I should introduce myself to?
Now you'll be able to figure out kind of where these go.
What is this called?
These are step drill bits. This is a twist drill. That's a step drill bit. And they have some properties that make them better in certain cases.
I think I have a guess.
Yeah.
So, for example, if I were to just create a hole with this, it would be a single tube all the way down the cylinder. Whereas this one, I could get a single tube, but then let's say I wanted a screw to go totally flush, then I could go down just a little bit so the head would be accommodated and it would
So
go
you're
all the
talking
way
about
in.
countersinking, yeah.
That's the word.
It's
I didn't
one
know
of
the word.
Yeah, one of the things you could use it for is for countersinking. The main reason why you would use that instead of one of these is if you want to drill a wide hole in something very thin, especially like sheet metal, because this twist thing will rip it.
Oh, that's right, and it'll warp it all around, whereas this is like just making a little hole.
It makes
here,
a
boss.
little hole and then it goes down, and it makes a little bigger hole, and then it goes down, and it makes a little bigger hole. So it progressively makes the hole bigger until you get to, and you'll see they have the diameter written right there.
It just happened in my mind again. I thought, well, what's another example of?
Yeah. So here, well, let's get this fella right here. It looks nice.
So we'll get the thinnest one first.
And
okay.
Now that's gonna go in your center drilled thing.
Yep.
And then just slowly let it go. The thing I like about these the most is how gentle they are. It isn't just like, and hole, it's like hole, it just gets bigger as you go down.
Yeah, normally I don't think of drilling through PVC. It really is just pushing up against it and all of a sudden it goes ka-thunk straight down, whereas that's not possible and it just feels like it's like warm butter.
There you go, one bigger.
How big do you want the hole?
Like a ½ inch, let me make a ½ inch hole.
Oh, that's so easy.
Yeah.
All right, and these are called what again?
That's a step drill bit.
Step drill bit.
Yeah, they make them in all sizes and flavors. You're probably going through the other side too there.
Oh, I did. I poked a little bit. Is that okay?
It's not going to work for my cosplay, but we can work with it.
You were going to be PVC man?
Yeah.
I'm Ted PVC.
Let's stick with a theme.
I encountered this one today.
Yes? Oh, you know this one.
We have a well, and I'm trying to get the water to go down in the murder pit because I want to see if I can make it into a swimming pool.
Why wouldn't you?
The land kind of goes up and down. I had a hose, but it just kind of pools in the middle.
Oh, yeah.
So I got these, but I needed a special length, and I'm like, man, I don't want to take a hacksaw to all this. They said, well, cut it. And then they pulled out one of these. I watched them get it stuck, and the guy was like, well, just pull it apart. And the guy, pulled it apart, just like that.
Yeah.
I did homework this time.
That's amazing.
I got you, Bill Doran.
I am genuinely shocked. All right, so let's show the people how it works.
Okay, and it looked like for something of this thickness, it took a fair bit of grip strength from the guy.
It ratchets so you can click it once and then open your hands and then click it again and open your hands.
As long as you hear that click, it's gonna keep working its way through, which I would not have expected that something this thick would essentially just work with scissors.
It's ratcheting scissors, really. I'm realizing that there was a thinner one back there I probably could have grabbed.
It is so hard for me to do this and not just imagine doing it to somebody's finger.
It's like every time you use one of those cigar cutters.
Yes. This is just called what, a pipe cutter?
A PVC pipe cutter, yeah.
PVC pipe cutter.
I haven't done any plumbing recently, but in the cosplay world, we make chainmail sometimes.
Okay.
So if you're a masochist, you could cut off little slices, little rings of PVC, cut a slot in it, and start linking them together.
It never occurred to me that if you're walking around a con, you don't want to be wearing actual
metal, yeah.
You probably just want it to look like it.
And you can totally make an entire piece of chainmail shirt out of PVC pipe.
So do you have to like sand down each of these little nubbins?
It depends on how finished you would want them to get. Oh, did it go off sideways? Uh-oh.
I was gonna say roll it back, but we don't have to. It did pinch
right.
really bad, though. That sucked.
Yeah. It's a good thing you don't use those for your living.
They're not the money makers.
Okay.
I know this one.
Yeah, it's a dish.
You put the food in it and you give it to your dog,
There
and
you
your
go.
dog refuses to eat it.
Other than being a pet food dish, there is one thing about it that sets it apart.
Yeah.
I can't believe I handed you a drill earlier. Putting that away. I mean, I'm moving this
too
far away too.
This is so heavy, and it's also made of rubber, which makes me think it's kind of like those things that hold keys at an angle on your car. You'd set these on there.
Yeah, it's pretty close.
This suggests to me that this is for, I bet there's a magnet in there. If I was making this, I'd put a magnet in there.
Yeah! A project we did in the past, what would have been really good for?
Ow! Yep, right? There's a bunch of screws, you just unscrew them all.
All, like
Start with these guys here so you can take that part off.
Roger.
And then kind of keep track of them.
Kind of keep track of them.
If you're modding a Nerf gun,
Oh, of
you gotta
course.
take all those screws
All the
out.
screws.
You don't want them rolling off the edge. They go right in there.
Yeah.
Also, if you have like a metal pole or something, or
Oh,
you can
yeah.
set it vertically, and it'll still hold your crap.
Oh, of course. That's great.
Yeah.
Wait, do these drill bits, would they kind of?
Just test the limits.
Keep going. What else we got?
There you go.
Okay, what else we got?
Let's go with this little number right here.
Calipers?
You got
Calipers.
the word right. Show me how it works.
Instead of just holding up a ruler, this is something I had to find out when I was designing the human crazy straw, is that tubes, they list an ID and an OD, an inner diameter and an outer diameter. So in this case, let's say you knew the outer diameter on there, but you wanted to be precise, you could use the calipers to close 3.8, I assume that's millimeters?
3.8 millimeter wall thickness.
There we go, yeah.
It's got these jaws on the front and on the back. The one on the front is for measuring the outside of things, like that.
Oh, there we go.
The one on the back is for measuring the inside.
The fingers come in from the outside or go out from the inside.
Exactly, yeah. This was the cheapest one they had. Other ones will have a little stem that comes out the bottom to measure depth. I use these all the time when I'm 3D modeling stuff.
Oh, yeah. How precise are the tolerances that you're working with when it comes to 3D prints of things?
Like 0.1 millimeter.
Wow.
Yeah.
I assume they have fancier versions than
They
this
do,
to check
they
your
do.
work?
This was $10.
Yeah.
They make $150 versions of this. I don't pay a lot for these because I beat them up and I buy them and put them all over my workshop. At every workstation they've got them. Let's see, this goes to the 0.1 millimeter on this one.
How does it track that on this?
What do I look like, a scientist?
Hey, sorry to interrupt. Just two things real quick. One, hey, this is my personal caliper. It's a little bit nicer than the one featured in the video. It's hardened stainless steel, but it's basically the same thing. One distinct notable difference, it has the depth gauge that Bill was talking about. And it works exactly the same as the rest. You know, this distance is exactly the same as this distance, which is exactly the same as this distance. It works great, although the batteries are dead in this one right now. Okay, so second thing, how do these work? Digital calipers. It seems mystical and magical. Well, I can give you an answer. It's maybe not the best answer. So if you crack this thing open, there is a circuit board underneath the display here on the head of the caliper. And that circuit board has a bunch of parallel lines on it that do circuit board things, I guess. And then if you peel back this, the markings on the straight edge, the ruler part of the caliper, there's another circuit board and it runs all the way across. And there's a bunch of parallel lines on that as well. Looks a little bit like a piano keyboard or something. However, these two circuit boards come very close in contact to one another and they're slightly out of phase. The alignment of these parallel lines are slightly out of phase. So at any given point in time, you might have one section of the 2 circuit boards that are perfectly lined up, and then the rest are just slightly off from one another. And then, you know, bing, bang, boom, it figures it out. You know, as you move it across, different parts of it are lining up and it detects that phase difference somehow. This is not really my area of expertise. I don't know if you have to be an electrical engineer or like an electricity tamer or something to know how this works, but that's not me. If you want to see a better video about this very specifically, check out this video from bigclivedotcom. He seems more knowledgeable. Maybe it's the lovely Scottish accent that's fooling me, but you can see a lot of great imagery about the internals of one of these over there. And that's it for me. Let's get back to the video.
So we're still under the $50 budget at this point?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
These next ones here, these probably look familiar.
These
you
are
have similar
just
things.
table clamps, right?
They are, so you've got all these hand clamps here, and these ones are nice. This brand is really good for this style of clamp. This one was $3.50. These are like 15 to 20 each.
Yeah, I assume that you're paying for the convenience of
It
just
is
being able
very
to grab
convenient
it
being able to do
one-handed.
that.
This guy, you gotta do a little more futzing around.
You do. However, if you really gotta clamp something, like really gotta clamp something,
Yeah.
this isn't gonna cut it. Eventually, it gets to a point where it won't clamp any further.
You can't get like another click.
Exactly.
Right?
These
Whereas
are
this
just
guy-
threaded, so you can just horse on those and clamp something really tight.
So I would imagine for like precision gluing of things that
Yeah.
you need to get it all the way tight. And in fact, on this, I can already feel this is starting to bite into the
Yep,
wood
yep.
and compress it. In fact, I'll bet, yep, I hear it
Yeah,
cracking
there
on
you go.
there.
So these are called F-style clamps, and they can be had for a song. You can get them in various lengths. I use them all the time. The last thing, you know what this is, but I wanted to give you one. We make our own utility knives.
Heck yeah. For a second, I thought this would have been individually 3D printed, but these you got professionally made.
Yeah,
and they
we had
got the
them
Punished Props
manufactured.
logo on there.
Yeah. These are the knives that we use for all of our projects, especially making foam armor and everything. They're super useful. We have replacement blades. I have one of these at every workstation in my shop.
So for foam, you're gonna need this always, right? You're always getting precise edges,
Yeah,
and the
yeah.
sharper the blade, the cleaner everything's going to be. Outside of that work, though, I'm honestly fairly intimidated. Even when I'm cutting open packages, I don't use the blade on my utility key. I'll use another key because I'm worried about damaging the stuff
Yeah.
inside. But you just use these all the time?
Yeah, one of my favorite things about these, they can click out and you can leave just a tiny bit sticking out. So when I'm working with foam, I may only want to score the foam. So I'll do that, run it through, and it only leaves a shallow groove.
I didn't even think of that. And that's the difference, because if I'm using the blade on the utility key, then there's no gate.
Right into your new iPad.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
right? And whereas that's brilliant. These are fantastic, and I'm definitely gonna use all of these. But meanwhile, where can all of our fabulous rogues go to see your work?
We do prop and costume making tutorials over on our website, punishedprops.com. We have a YouTube channel, hundreds of videos, and we have 3 books out on foam costume and prop making. So if you're gonna go to Comic-Con and you want an impressive costume, that's the place to get started.
Bill and Brittany were one of the earliest, one of the popularizers of every time you go to a comic book or sci-fi fan convention and they're doing cosplay contests, these guys are legends.
Thank you, thank you. This is fun. I love getting to just share tool stuff and talk and shop. So I'm glad I got to pass these off to you, and I'm looking forward to seeing them in future videos.
Yes. Behold, the elements, in this case rain, but you needn't concern yourself with the elements of rain. You need to be thinking about the elements of style. You've got a message in your heart. You've got to tell the world. You need our friends over at Squarespace. Head on over to squarespace.com/rogue, sign up for a free trial, and start to tinker with what it might look like to get your word out there. It's the perfect way to create a blog, portfolio, or any other kind of website. Here's the crazy part. Squarespace has been making so many award-winning finding templates. Now they got robots trained on that data. Your website is gonna look extraordinary. Don't stand on a street corner out in the rain shouting to nobody. Put your message on the internet. They have distributed hosting so that you can become an international sensation overnight. You can even create an online store to monetize your whole operation. You don't have to know nothing about the internet. I take that back. You do have to be able to actually go to squarespace.com/rogue. But beyond that, it's like you don't have to know anything about the internet. If you got a message for the world, Squarespace wants to get it out there for you. So let's do this. Head on over to squarespace.com/rogue, spell it right, ROGUE, and when you sign up, get 10% off. Use that promo code.
This video is sponsored in part by viewers like you who watch to the end. And go to patreon.com/modernrogue, of course, where we will soon have a new interview with Bill and Brittany Doran. In the meantime, you can check out our original interview with Bill from over half a decade ago for free.
You have a bet?
We're doing real science here. The width of your nostril?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say 7.5 millimeters.
Take the over or under on that?
9.
8.
This is not stretching. Now keep in mind, I might have toured doing the human blockhead and shoving tubes up my nose.
Nails.
12.8
Oh, I
millimeters.
was way off. All right.